Good morning and welcome to this event jointly done by Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund and the week. It is my pleasure as one of the editors of the week to welcome you all to this event. And thank you so much for taking your Sunday out to be with us. And please stay with us till the end. And I'm sure you'll benefit from this. Being present here itself shows your dedication and your discipline, and that is halfway to your goals, I would say. The topic this time is reflections of 2023 and resolutions for 2024. So let me begin by wishing all of you a very happy new year. And I would like to welcome the panel for the day. But I'd like to begin by paying my respects to Devaki ji, who was a trustee of the Prasanna Trust. She passed away earlier this week. I'm mentioning Prasanna Trust because one of our keynote speakers this day, Swamiji Sukhabodhanandaji, is the founder and head of the Prasanna Trust. And it speaks volumes about Swamiji's affection for us and relationship with us that despite this time of great sorrow, Swamiji has agreed to be with us. So our thoughts and sentiments are with Devatiji's family and also with Swamiji and everybody at Prasanna Trust personally. And our thanks to the trust and to Swamiji for accepting to be with us today. Let me begin by welcoming Rao sir, who is the person who holds this entire event together. It's been a long relationship and he needs no welcome for regulars who are here. Just to give you a measure of the person, for 6 years in a row, Mr. K.S. Rao has been listed among the most influential marketing professionals in the banking, financial services and insurance sector by CMO Asia at the BFI Marketing Congress last year. So that was 6 times in a row. There is no small feat, but to those of us who know him, it comes as no surprise. And those of you who have heard him here and elsewhere know that it is not a surprising matter to you either. He is part of a senior management team with Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund. He is Executive Vice President and Head of Investor Education and Distribution Development there. A greatly respected person within the organization as well. He has led ABSL to multiple awards. Last time during the webinar, I mentioned recent awards, which includes Best Education Initiative for Evolved Investors at the BFI Marketing Congress in Mumbai in November. ABSL also received was the Best Fund House for Innovation in Investor Education. Investor Education is House's area. The Avok India Foundation and the International Financial Literacy Conclave last year. So 2-3 awards in the end of the year and a few ones ahead of that, in addition to his personal achievements. So without much ado, let me welcome Rao sir in this new year to the first webinar. Very welcome for Rao sir. It's as always a great pleasure to be with you. So welcome, sir. Amitji, other than Rao sir, I think Amitji should have been the longest co-traveler with us. Like many of the panelists here, is a very good personal friend to me and a very good personal friend to Rao sir also. As I always say, Amitji brings in a dash of Bollywood cricket, two things that are topmost on Indian minds across states, across religions, across all other divides, things that unite us. So Amitji brings in that dash of cricket or Bollywood to communicate. It's part of his communication game, and I usually say this ahead of this that both of them are excellent communicators, excellent professionals. But what impresses me most is they're great human beings, great fathers, and much of the lessons that they bring to the webinar come from their own life stories. Amitji's book from the ICU is his own story through great struggles that he had been. And he's head of Karma Yoga Knowledge Academy. And Rao sir has a way of putting acronyms together for things to remember. So Rao sir's pet name for Amitji is Karma Yogi. He's an author, a speaker, a trainer, a blogger, and his most recent book, if I'm not mistaken, is Money Wise. Anything after Money Wise, Amitji?
No, that's the last one.
That's the last book, yeah. Money Wise is a perspective for women. It was focused exclusively at women investors. It was a great joy for Rouser and me and others here is that it was written in collaboration with another person who's a regular panelist here, Ms. Kiran Talang. So welcome, Amitji. You are as much a part of the family as anybody else. So this welcome is a formality, but still welcome
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
And I mentioned Swamiji earlier. Swamiji is a titan, is a veteran in his field, which is spiritual education. He represented India in the 2005 World Economic Forum in Davos. He has represented India in the United Nations, in the Millennium Club in New York, and so on. So this is a much more humble venue for him. But Swamiji has, in his grace, always been a great friend of all of us, and it's been a great blessing to have him here. And Swamiji, for example, just to mention his generosity, at least twice Swamiji has offered his courses free for participants who are here, which is very generous. I mean, there's no need to do that, but I think it is mostly because of the bond that Swamiji shares with Rao sir and with the panel here and all that that happens. So it speaks volumes about Swamiji as a person. Prasanna Trust, as I said, is Swamiji's baby. It has done exemplary work, especially during COVID and among the girl children who have lost their parents during COVID. Amazing work and has been awarded for that as well. As I said, sharing ancient wisdom is his forte. He always says, Swamiji always says that unlocking the potential of the heart, mind, and soul is perhaps the best thing that one could do. So, reflections of 2023, resolution for 2024 is directly in Swamiji's quote. And as I said, Swamiji is coming to us at a time of great personal loss, and that enhances my respect for Swamiji and my affection for him as well. I would also like to thank Mr. Subhashi Chandrashali from the ABSL family, Mr. Sri Kumar Menon, Sri Devi, and Rahul from the Veek family who are behind the scenes. Thank you so much for being there and for all the support. And with these words, I'd like to hand over to Rao sir. As I said, the usual format, Rao sir's presentation comes first, then there is a panel discussion, and then Swamiji comes. So thank you so much for being with us. Please stay with us till the end. The ABSL family usually puts out downloadables. Please download them, use them. They are very effective tools to keeping track of your investments. And as always, it's an investment education, investor education forum. We don't recommend specific funds. We don't answer specific questions on specific funds. And as Rausar and Amiji always say, it's personal finance, so the personal comes first. So it is quite impossible for them to provide personal advice here, but general advice and questions are always welcome. We'll be very happy to answer them. With these few words, let me thank you again and wish you a happy new year and hand over to Rahul. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Matthew, sir, and we are grateful always. And thanks for that generous introduction. And we are also very thankful to the entire family of Manorama and everyone supporting there. I mean, it's Shri to Uman and everyone working, Shri Devi. Thanks for all. And good morning, Amit. Welcome to this session. And it was indeed, I thank each of the participants who have come today. Good morning. Welcome you all. Happy New Year. I think it's the time you have invested on a Sunday. It's on a Sunday you have invested this time, and it's our job, our duty to ensure that you go back after the end of the 2 hours, you get some clarity or some direction on each of those topics which we listed. And next till 11:30, myself and Amit ji, we will be with you to take those questions and talk to you and give the perspective and just a recapitulate what has happened over last 1 year and what we can anticipate, how we can prepare for the 24 and beyond, not just 24. And today, interestingly, the last session with Swami Sudbodhananda ji, Puja Swamiji, he is going to talk about, we both will deal with the life financial planning, but Swamiji will talk about your life planning, little beyond the finances, and what you need to do, how you need to do, how to manage yourself, and what you can do. And with this, I'll quickly run through one small presentation. Then we will take back to you. Amit ji, my presentation is visible. Okay, thank you. Okay, with this, I know. Thanks once again for joining us. From Aditya Birla Sun Life, we are completing this year. We are entering into our 30th year of wealth creation, and we thank all our investors, our partners, and thanks to each one of you for being with us and trusting us. And our whole motion, whole motive is inspiring trust, creating wealth, and enriching the lives. This is also a value system which we adapt from our group Aditya Birla Group, where we talk about enriching the lives of the people. And from my side, from as Mr. Matthew was briefing us, at Invest Education, we just completed our 10,000 programs, and we also do for our distribution partners. We did around 4,000 sessions, and we go predominantly on the community engagement, and we were across Kerala with Manorama team, and we are very grateful for our reach, and of course beyond Kerala we do across the country with various partners including Manorama. But we are personally thankful to Manorama for the kind of support over last 10 years, the kind of milestones we reached and enriched the lives of millions of people. And educating is the way of life, and we felt going with our regulator mandate and the regulator vision, the informed investor is the protected investor, and our intention is to create informed investors. With this, I'll take you through a small presentation about Amrit Kal. And okay, and before we take the reflections for the last year and the resolutions for the next year, last time we discussed about Amrit Kal for India, and Amrit Kal, how it's a great time to invest in India, invest for India, and what is that it can make a difference, how we can envision. We are not just talking about 2024, we are talking about 2047, and the government of India has laid down a plan, a vision, a calendar, how we can look at that centennial year 2047, where India celebrates 100th years of independence. There is a target set, and there is a nation which is built embarking on not only the economic growth, but it is a holistic growth. The growth for the education, growth for the health, growth for the women, growth for the community. And there is a vision is to eradicate zero poverty, and we move in the ladder to the third largest economy. We will be moving from the developed economy to the developing economy. This is a nation which is on the move, nation which is on the prosperity. And we have seen over last 1 decade the prosperity which we are looking at. And today, across the globe, we are seeing deceleration, but where in India, in the opposite side, we have seen acceleration. That's where we are on the opposite side of the world, where we are moving faster. We are one of the fastest growing economy. Where whether it's you take the growth rate and each of the sectors which are contributing, and each sector is contributing to this growth, whether it's the service and technology and demographics of the India is 50% of the population, the youth. Today we are under 30 years, and that's where the demographics are playing a very vital role. And the initiatives taken by the government for the next 25 years, and where we intend to look at whether in terms of infrastructure development, whether it is in terms of economic reforms, or whether it is in terms of strategic partnerships, and and the whole economic growth which is going to come, which is a huge potential for the market to move up. And with this, how this can convert is the GDP, which is the country which is growing to grow, how that is converting into the stock market. Today, last year, 2023, we have seen we have touched 70,000. Now we are at 72,000. When I'm talking about the Sensex, Nifty has crossed beyond 20, and today it's at 22. GDP, a higher GDP, giving the higher revenue giving the higher demand is converting into the price. It's a expansion of the market, and this is reflected into the stock market, and the stock market is giving that very. But of course, we can't say which sector will do well. What is that? Each year, the sectors will move around differently. The Mint publishes fantastic quilt of how each of these asset class performed. If I can look at 2013 to 2023, in the last 10 years, if you can see, there is nothing. Of course, the small cap look consistently up, but which may or may not. But each of the asset class, whether it is like into 2013, international markets have done well. But if I can look at to 2023, the small cap has done well, and before that 2022, the gold as an asset class has done reasonably well. And this is where the various asset classes are performing very differently from the period to find. In this process, over last few years, if you can see the mutual funds IA campaign, which has changed the perspective of the industry looking at, and today mutual fund industry is embarking on its growth in line. And if we can look at, this is where 2023, to look at the headlines, mutual funds roar back in 2023, and the SIP book is crossed 17,000 crores, and the mutual funds added around 2 crores of investors, new investors in 2023, and today it's a 4.2 crores of investors, and SIP, 17,000 of SIP, 17,000 crores of SIP comes in every year, and mutual funds have seen rising inflows coming from the retail investors. These are the headlines for 2023. That shows mutual funds here. Mutual funds, incidentally, mutual fund industry also 1964, which is started this year, it celebrates its 60th year of the mutual funds. Today we are almost at 50 lakh crores of money, and today the number of PANs is increasing, and the first trillion it took almost 40 years, and the next, if we can look at 48 trillions which have come in the last 20 years, and this is where the households started investing in mutual funds, and this is where the dependency of the market on FIIs has come on less, and DIA has gone up, where over last few years, I mean, even the FIS flows are not there, the markets were only on the upside, and which is SIP is a regular contribution, and mutual funds inflows in the market is helping a country, helping the market to reduce the market volatility. This is a big impact, small contribution of SIP is making a bigger impact. And this is where I look at in the other reflections, if I can look at what has changed in the world over last if I look at what are the headlines, how we can define 2023 very differently. 2023, I mean, it's an year India has become the world's most populous nation, and after I think we are the number one in terms of, and there is a pride movement for India to have its on Chandrayaan, and we were the leaders who hosted the G20, and of course we had a wonderful league match at World Cup, but we lost in the finals, and there is a war of Hamas and the continued war of Russia and Ukraine. And we have lost one of the legend investors and visionary, Charlie Munger. These are the few headlines, and we can look at many other things where we can, where it has changed. But when it comes to the economy, India's GDP is the fastest growth rate in the world. I think second time in a row, and this year also we intend to growth. I think we still remain the fastest growing and fastest, maybe 7.22. It may be a little lesser than 7, but we are emerging. India has emerged as the fastest growing market in the country. And with this, last year, the Sensex has touched its historical market peaks, which is at 70,000. As I said, SIPs, today the number of SIP accounts, number of SIP folios have crossed a little over 9 crores. And the AUM of the mutual fund industry on a constant rise. As I speak today, it is above 50 lakh crores. And with this, what are the reflections we can look at? The reflections could be market has continued its upward journey, the bull rally kind, which is on, and it's a long-term bull rally. Of course, corrections may come anytime. We don't know. I mean, none of us can predict. That's where we need to prepare. That's where we intend to talk to you month on month, and then we have various ways to communicate to you. And India has become most resilient economy, and there is a strong corporate earnings, and there are 3Ds which has worked, which is democracy, demographics, and digital first. And probably, yesterday I was listening to one of the speakers. Probably this has led given to the fourth D, the determination of India to move forward, determination of Indians as a Atmanirbhar Bharat. Everyone is self-sufficient, and it's a navigation through the opportunities. And then there were uncertainties, there were some volatilities, but in spite of the volatility, market was up, and the market capitalization of Indian market has crossed beyond 4 trillion, and we have become the fifth largest. We are embarking on the journey of the third largest. And there is a positivity indicators, the favorable monetary economic policy. Of course, we had a little bit of elevated inflation and interest rates. I think it may come down, and it's right across. Last year, it was on the upward trajectory. And what are our learnings? I mean, whether it is an individually, when each of you can introspect for the last year, If you we have, most of us, we will set ourselves our financial goals, our life goals. Then just have a look, take a pass, take a pen and paper, look whether you have achieved all your goals in the last year, what you set. If you have achieved, what could be the reason? If you have not achieved, why you have not achieved? Little introspection can make 2024 to work. I think somebody said, when you want to resolutions, if you don't have a resolutions, there is a challenge. If you have resolutions, there is a challenge. But it's always, you can keep some resolutions. It can be a guiding force. It can help you to navigate to accomplish. And which are the goals you achieved last year? What is your financial goals, or your fitness goals, your spiritual goals, or your social goals? And which are the goals are under progress? What are the challenges you faced? How do you plan to overcome this? What are the 3 pieces of advice you give yourself? If you can look at these 6 pointers, with these pointers can give you to reflect. It is gives a rear view mirror where I can how much I've traveled, how much I need to travel, and this can give you the perspective, and that can give you a different resolutions which you can make it for the current year 2024. We are already into the 7th day of the 2024. I mean, how you can stick to your financial goals. You have a financial goals. If you don't have one, you need to set that financial goals. How you can set that financial goals. If you can look at last year when we were talking, I think we had on 14th of January, we had this session. At the time, the market was at 62,000. Sensex was at 62,000. We are at 72. Everything is going up. And what is that? What is that? You can look at every asset class has created very different perspective. If you can look at whether it's a gold, whether it is a real estate, I mean, most of the asset classes are outperformed. And how you can do that right asset allocation, optimize your asset allocation right. Probably sometimes in the last year, if somebody has gone with the right asset allocation, probably they would not have made that kind of money. But it's only optimization of revenue, optimization of investments, and how you did it. And emergency fund is a must. And probably sometimes we go overboard comfort level. We take the money out from the emergency. Do you have your emergency fund? Just look at how much you need. Probably have you parked your emergency fund in the liquid fund kind of it, where you can also get substantial returns. And your health and life insurance. Look, what kind of health insurance you need to have, whether all papers in place, and what kind of life insurance you need. You need to consult your advisor, what kind of look you can look at. And the fifth one resolution could be investing in yourself is the most important. Financial goals are one part of it. Investing in ourselves, whether it's a fitness, whether it is a upgrading, whether it's a upskilling, what is that investment you are making yourself? Today you have invested yourself the 2 hours of time to with this. What is the time you are investing in yourself? And what is a holistic life planning? What are your resolutions? Probably on this we will elaborate and we will deliberate. Swamiji is going to talk about how you can set your holistic life planning. It is going to be an interesting topic. You can deliberate in the last 45 minutes of this webinar. It's going to be very interesting. And probably, Swamiji does, there's a boot camp. Probably today he may announce, some of you can get, he will announce where you can take it as a free, you can join that boot camp at a free of cost, and it's going to be interesting. And why you need to stay focused and remain disciplined. Staying focused, remaining disciplined is the most important resolution. Any year that could be a part and parcel of it. And if you are with the SIP, are you stepping up your SIP according to your increments, according to change your goals? And please do continue with your SIP. That could be your resolution. And one resolution we all need to look at is how I can minimize my debt, because reducing debt will help us to reaching our financial freedom goal in a much faster. And last but not the least, it's the most important one, is being a financial coach with you, being a financial advisor with you, being a financial mentor with you will help and ensure you accomplish your financial goals. And this is where, and we have done some survey, and we have seen this survey. It shows top 3 financial resolutions people kept last year was save more money, and it's spend less money, and some of them said pay down the debt, minimize the debt. These are the top 3 financial resolutions based on the survey which we could find in the last year. And there are top 3 financial concerns for the people. Always there will be, there is a possibility of unexpected expenses. We need to bucket for it. And there could be an economic uncertainty across the globe. Anytime there is a war, there is some situation, and you do not know what can come. But economic uncertainty could be preparing for that financial concern. And not saving enough is the another concern. Not having an emergency fund was the another concern. These are the top 3 among the last years when we did this survey. If I can look at what are the lessons we have learned. I mean, what these are the lessons some of the high achievers who shared. I was going through various articles in the last 1 year. If I can look at, there are 6 lessons. If I can look at, people are like, these are the people. Sorry, there is a spelling error. Know where you want to go. If you don't have a destination, if you don't have a goal to grow, then you know where you need to get. And don't forget to enjoy your journey. One, you should have a goal, then enjoy your journey and investing in your skills. That skill is like, you need to put that your skills, your empowerment, your learnings, your finances, and focus on you what you are consuming, and sound mind and sound body. And it's also a do some um, give me a minute. Do something what you live every day, and do something very meaningful. And if you can look at how I can have a 2024, can have a 24 goals under 6 buckets. If I can look at what is the goal for your body, what is your goal for your mind, what is the goal for your finances, and what is the goal for your career, and what are the goals for your family, and what are your goals for the social. In the body, whether it's a fitness, your physical activity, whether it's a balanced diet, whether it's a proper sleep, whether it's the mind, what are your goals you intend to get, whether you do a proper meditation, whether what are the books you intend to read, whether do you do daily journaling, and whether you have your hobbies for the recreation, are you taking a time off, whether you are spending. When it comes to the finances, are you budgeted rightly, are you budgeting, and your investments, are you focusing on right investments aligned to your financial goals, and how you placed for your income, how you are making your income to grow up, and what are your plans for your, and what are the choices, what are the experiences you want to family. All that, it is not for the savings, it is also to create the experiences. And what are your goals for career, where you want to get it to the next level, how you want to the next level, what kind of network you need to build up, what is that, how you can enhance your skills, what kind of coach or mentorship you need to have. And the fifth goal, the family, for which we all work for it, and which we primary. And this is what is, have you created your family time, what are your family conversations, what are your family goals, and what are your self-care. And then we are in the society, we need to serve, and we need to be a part of the society, and you need to have that meaningful friendship, meaningful community service, and expanding your social circle, and what kind of environment you can get. With this is an year, I mean, it can look at 2 cube to 9 cube. In each of these 8 areas where you intend to work, how you can triple it. नए साल का नया संकल्प, a investment के सिवा नहीं विकल्प. How you can look at, we talk about Viksit Bharat, what is that your vikalp for your next. With this, I'll take this, and I come from Aditya Birla Capital. For me, that ABC is always build competence, in the competence in managing investments, competence in your learnings, and competence in your growing. And and end of it, you need to be always cheerful. With this, I'll stop, and wishing you all a happy and wonderful new year. And I'll invite you for a conversation with Amit ji. And Amit ji, thank you so much for joining. And indeed, it's an honor. And that I had a good time with you on ground to this year to start with. With this, Amit, we just spoke about reflections and resolutions. When Mr. Matthew also spoke about that, looking back, for your perspective, what are the lessons, probably your perspective, what you would have learned, and what many investors would have learned from 2020?
Sir, you mentioned about the World Cup cricket tournament sometime back in the introduction. So all of us remember that we started the World Cup campaign with all victories in the league matches, and then also won the semi-final, only to lose the final. And that pain of loss in final is felt hugely. But as we look at the way the year ended, the Indian girls defeated England and Australia both. I think that massive victory often gets forgotten. So one of the lessons that I learned from that cricket, experience is that what typically gets hyped impacts our emotions far more than some of our smaller victories, which are not talked about a lot. So I would rather be more grateful about those victories, including the men's cricket team's victory till semi-final. The other thing that which also got lost in the popularity of cricket was that the Asian Games performance, where we crossed the 100 medal tally, and that was awesome. I mean, by any standards, any stretch of imagination, the nation is emerging not just in becoming one of the largest economies in the world, but it is also making big strides in the sports arena. And of course, the scientists are making huge achievements in this space area. You also look at the way the manufacturing sector in India is growing. At one point, it felt like we simply moved from an agrarian economy to a service economy. But suddenly, last few years of efforts and the production-linked incentives, Make in India campaign, and we are actually now, adding more manufacturing power to India. I think these are some of the positives that I would look at, and I'm highlighting some of the things which are generally not talked about. Yes, as the world lost not just a great investor, but a wise man, Charlie Munger. And some of his words are very apt to talk about today. One of the things that he always said is inward, always inward. So whatever you are seeing today, just turn it around and see what would happen if the things reversed. And I think that's where whenever you feel euphoric, try to see from a skeptic's eye. And whenever you feel fearful, try to look at it from an optimist's eye. And that's the nature of the world. Borrowing from Charlie Munger, Morgan Housel has written in his latest book called Same as Ever. He says most successful people in any field, and of course, including investments, he says they are optimistic and pessimistic at the same time, but they are generally short-term pessimistic and long-term optimistic because the world has moved in that fashion. Generally, you have to protect yourselves against the short-term risks because you have to survive in the short term. But if you are able to survive in the short term, then the long term, which is likely to become better and better as we all progress and we all contribute towards that growth. The long-term journey is going to be full of a lot of downturns in between. And this is precisely why in our earlier webinars also, for the investors, we've always highlighted this point in the be prepared part, that prepare against the short-term risks. And for that, you need insurance, for that, you need liquidity, for that, you need contingency fund, and be optimistic in the long term. And that's where you invest in various companies through equity mutual funds. So these are the lessons that I would, reflect on 2023 and share.
Yeah, thank you so much, Amitji. And friends, while we will have these conversations, use the Q&A to put your questions. And we have seen some of those questions coming in. As we have these conversations, we can also take your questions. Probably all your questions till 11:30. Then after that, the session, the last minute, we may or may not be in a position to give. Most of the questions may go unanswered. Otherwise, we will write a mail to you. And we also kept some on chat box. My colleagues I've posted some downloadables, and you can have these free downloads. Some of those interesting books you can download. Coming back, Amitji, one on the 2023, you spoke about volatility, and there is also a first question which has come about market is all-time high. And I remember, we both were discussing. This is a question, and incidentally, we had a little longer career, and I started my career in the mutual fund industry way back in 1992, and that's the time markets are at peak, and then the question used to come, market is at peak. Then I have seen when market has touched at 4,000 in 95 before MS shoe scandal, then there is that what shall we do? And last year during pandemic, you and me would have done many sessions at 45,000. Now 45, what is next? Now 50, what is next? Now 70, what is next? I think somebody said there is a euphoria, and of course, one need to have a cautious outlook. There could be a potential headwinds, and in that case, what is your advice to the investors who are allocating to the equity? I recall yesterday you were in a day-long wealth creation workshop. Probably your insights matters a lot now.
Sure, sir. I saw that question and really appreciate, because this is exactly in line with what Charlie Munger said, inward, always inward. So when everybody around you seems to be euphoric, can you look at the situation with a skeptic's eye? Now, typically what happens is when there is euphoria, everybody wants to participate in the long-term growth. And when everybody wants to participate in that long-term growth, the current prices automatically rise. because everybody is buying out of that euphoria. When a lot of people are buying and the prices appear to be costly, then what happens is it is not necessary that over a long term you will incur losses. There could be short term downturns, and that can happen anytime. I mean, there's no way you can predict that. And in the past, also, you highlighted a few points that whatever falls happened in the past, it was impossible to predict. So, that's the nature of the markets. However, your long term returns from equity markets would be generally closely linked to the growth of the economy. Having said that, if you enter at a costly price, when the economy grows at X rate, you might get X minus something. If you buy cheap, you will get X plus something in terms of returns. And that's basic mathematics. Now, the question here is, why are equity prices high today? One of the reasons is, when you look at that long-term growth, the fall in interest rates would automatically give a rise to prices of all assets. When there is lot of liquidity, the prices of all the assets move up. And this liquidity can come in multiple forms. I've dedicated a full chapter in riding the roller coaster on the role of liquidity. So that's really what happens. If you look at the India growth story, then we are firing on multiple cylinders today as a country. It's largest country in the world in terms of population. Out of that 8 billion people, 1.4 billion live in India. But then look at some of the achievements that we've made. I just mentioned about the ISRO and scientists' achievements, but look at the vaccine delivery that we had. I think we did far better than most advanced countries in the world, and that is execution capability at a large scale. Look at another example. And this year is going to be election year, so that's why I'm taking the clue from the previous union election in 2019. Roughly 45-50 people voted. Please look at the number. 45 to 50 crore people voted. The population of the third most populated country, United States, is roughly 35 crores. So the actual number of voters, not the eligible number of voters, actual number of voters was more than the entire population of the third largest country in the world. And still, results were declared in less than a week. The same country, United States, which is an advanced country, it takes weeks to declare results. And that's an achievement on a scale. And of course, the latest superstar of all achievements, according to me, is the UPI. We are about to reach 1 billion transactions a month. And as per the NPCI CEO, by 2025, we would have reached there. I mean, I saw one of the presentation a few months back. 1 billion transactions a month, which means on an average, within 8 months, the entire world's population would have done one transaction through UPI. I mean, that's the scale. If you look at that as the India growth story, then I'm personally very optimistic about that story, that growth. And that growth would result in superior returns from equity markets. Having said that, the road is never going to be smooth. And I have to ensure that my vehicle has enough shock absorbers, my portfolio has enough shock absorbers to withstand that bumpy ride. Because if only I stay through that journey, then only I will benefit out of what the economy delivers, what the stock markets deliver. If I get out of the journey midway, then I will not reach the destination. And that's how I would look at the whole situation. And for that purpose, once again, have those shock absorbers in your portfolio.
Thank you so much, Amitji. And probably this has given one, your answer underlying the first question which has come there, which is talking about how you can have. Probably it is not a hype. Today markets are a little realistic when in terms of GDP. You are right. As a market can always be volatile. It's the nature of the market, and none of us can predict. And month of December, the inflows from FIIs would have made something, but then coming back, equity as an asset class is one. Now the debt as an asset class, how you can look at in the current time, and those who have done asset allocation is very good, but those who have not done asset allocation, how you can look at debt funds, and what do you look at gold in the portfolio?
Very interesting question once again. So if you look at last 20 years of performance, and this is something that I picked up from one of the mutual fund CEOs in yesterday's conference. If you look at last 20 years of performance, equity has delivered 1% more than, or 0.5% more than gold. So as such, if you see, they are close number one and number two in terms of asset classes. The interesting part is, when equity delivers, gold does not, and when gold delivers, equity does not. So if you have both in your portfolio, then your portfolio's ride becomes smoother, and you are able to reasonably capture the upside of both. So that is the role of gold. Gold generally has been seen, and historically it's been seen as one of the safe havens. It may not be a safe haven in terms of volatility, because the gold prices could be volatile, but it is safe haven when the entire world looks like in the doomsday era. That's when gold comes to the rescue. Gold prices typically tend to go up when world is in trouble. When world is in trouble, obviously economies are in trouble. Second thing, equity, typically when we talk about the domestic equity, which is, we give reference to Nifty, Sensex, etc., the indices comprising of Indian stocks. So to that extent, equity market is more national. Gold is an international asset, and large part of this 20-year gold appreciation has come because of rupee depreciation against dollar. And that's where gold is a good hedge against currency depreciation. So that's the role of gold. Should it be in your portfolio? Yes, it should be in your portfolio. Is it liquid? Yes, it is reasonably liquid. Now, should you take physical gold in your portfolio or another route is a question. When you look at physical gold, if you have the ability to verify the purity of gold, number one, and number two, storage capability at reasonably low cost, then buying physical gold may be a good idea. But otherwise, there are other routes. You have gold mutual funds or gold ETFs. If you do not look at it way, another option which is in recent times is the sovereign gold bonds. Though it is not gold, but the redemption price is linked to the gold price movement. It's actually a debt instrument, by the way, not gold really, but it's just that the prices are linked to gold. It's a bond. And that brings me to the debt part. Debt, don't expect long-term high returns from debt, especially in comparison to gold and stocks or equity markets. Fixed income is likely to deliver lower returns, but those lower returns would come at a reasonably low volatility. And that's where, I mean, even when you are driving a Ferrari, which is a race car, and I don't know at what speed it is driven, maybe 350, 400 kilometers per hour, but that Ferrari also needs a brake. So even when you are pursuing long-term growth, having some amount of debt actually acts as the role that a brake plays in a fast-moving vehicle. Now, how much debt should be in your portfolio is a function of whether an experienced driver is driving the vehicle, or somebody like me is driving the vehicle. I am a novice, I don't know driving well, so I need a stronger brake. I may need to use it more often, but an expert may be able to navigate with lower amount of debt in the portfolio. So it is again your situation. Having said that, debt is essential. Debt funds or whichever form of debt you take is essential in the portfolio when your requirements for all your requirements in the short to medium term cannot be ignored, because what can happen to gold prices and equity prices in the short term is unpredictable, and you don't want to run out of money exactly at the time of your need, and that need can be solved by debt mutual funds.
Yeah, thank you so much, Amitji. And probably the advice could be to have a proper allocation. And
Exactly.
I mean, we said we did one webinar some time back, which is called Edge of Asset Allocation, EDGE. We said
Right.
EDGE is you should have an equity, you should have debt, you can have a gold, and the last E, either it could be an international equity or it could be a real estate, E of the real estate, whichever the way you look at. And simultaneously, I'll also run through some questions, having answered the first question from Mr. Madhusudan, whether markets, whether you need to be greedy or fearful when according to Warren Buffett. But I'll go to the next, some of those questions. And Mr. Rohan, this recording is available later. It will be posted, and it is also available on the YouTube channel from the week, which is being posted after a few days, maybe 3 or 4 days after the it will be posted there. And that way it is. And Dr. Nair question is it's a forthcoming elections. I mean, economic stability of India and its GDP. Probably Mr. Nair, I mean, neither me or Amit is not an authority to talk about what is going to happen, and nor we can. But this is an year of election. Definitely, there could be the slow growing of tightening of the liquidity can also happen, and heightened competition among the emerging markets can happen. The overvaluations may get, all that you need to be cautious is, as earlier Mr. Amit said, have proper asset allocation, then nothing to worry. And yesterday I was with Amit ji on some of the webinars, and myself and Amit, we were in Tamil Nadu for a couple of meetings where we were discussing how in 2020 people anticipated something and moved out of their asset classes where they are supposed to be, and they couldn't enter, and they lost every opportunity to grow. And be careful, and you be with your advisor. That's where we can look at. Mr. Neeraj Dwivedi, this link, yeah, downloadables, we will share. The downloadable links are already there in the chat. Please, you can look at. And this is very interesting question for you, Amitji. This question coming from Smitha. When investing in smart stock market, is it better than the mutual funds if you have a knowledge about stock market investment?
So, sir, I look at this question and it comes very frequently and very interesting question. And thank you, Smita ji, for this, putting it here. Now, you invest in stocks, but you invest through mutual funds. And that's the difference. Mutual fund, consider that as an investment vehicle which allows you an access to various asset categories. Equity mutual funds help you access equities power. Debt mutual funds help you invest in debt securities. And from that point of view, it is not stock market versus mutual fund. It is, in stock market, do I invest myself or do I take professional help? That really is a question. And when it comes to professional help, let me just highlight, you mentioned about knowledge, but there are three other things which are equally important. Yes, of course, you need to have the knowledge to analyze stock, your research. But number two, that research requires enormous amount of time. You got to read the business plans and balance sheets of companies in order to understand what the company is doing and what is the first, what are the future plans and what is the future outlook about the company, the industry, the business. Do you understand the management's ability to navigate through difficult times and to take better decisions? So you need to have that knowledge apart from looking at stock prices. Knowledge is one. Number two, time in this research. Number three, there are a lot of other ancillary activities when you do your investing in stock markets directly. Take, for example, the entire thing of accounting. What is happening to your portfolio? In case of mutual funds, the net asset value per unit, which is nothing but the book value per unit, is calculated on a daily basis and given to you. You don't really need to worry about valuation of your portfolio if you go through mutual funds. Otherwise, you have to do that activity yourself. And of course, the tax return filing, because when you are in stock markets, the dividends are taxable, and you don't have an option of going into growth in stocks. You have an option of going to growth planning mutual funds. So dividends are taxable, capital gains are taxable, and to that extent, you also need to prepare. So you should like that task as well. And the fourth one, consider how much money you make from your primary profession, your job, your business, your if you're working somewhere, the salary income, and compare it to how much money, extra money that you can generate by investing directly over and above what a typical mutual fund would give. And typically the scales are in favor of leaving that investment process to your mutual fund company and enjoying your life and focusing on your work. That's generally my experience. And I've been in this market for now a little more than 30 years. And when you actually mathematically calculate the performance of your portfolio and adjust it for the risk that you've taken, most of the times it's not worth it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Amitji. And I acknowledge the presence of Swamiji. I mean, so nice to have him. And we will pranam Swamiji. And what we will do is I'll take one more question, two more questions, Amitji, before we hand over the mic to Swamiji, and then we can work on. I mean, probably 11:30 we will give it to Swamiji. And there are some questions which have come, Amitji, is like somebody has asked, if you have investing for last 8 to 10 years, does it make sense to sell now, or how should one game plan? I'll advise you is don't change any game plan. You just go with your goal plan and stick to your asset allocation. Be in touch with your financial advisor. And this is a question from Ashika Chauhan, how the investing rules and guidelines and make first safe and lesser taxable investment. Ashika Chauhan, you can come to our website. There is a huge lot of stuff available to get yourself educated. And coming to the safest investment, nothing. What is safe is how you need to define and taxability. Probably you can come to our website. We can guide you how you can look at and you can read it. And some of those booklets you have downloaded that may help you how you can have a most tax efficient way to invest. This is a question. I'll give it to you, Amitji. Last time, though, we did a retirement planning session. There's a question coming from Mr. Barrel. Thanks, Mr. Barrel. Happy New Year. Thanks for your wishes to us. And since you are retiring in 2024, this question is best to put out part of my retirement corpus in aggressive hybrid fund for monthly income as well as capital appreciation. What percentage of investment should I opt for monthly return? I mean, you may not answer fully because it's very personal. Probably, can you guide on something?
So first of all, I'll take the last question first. What percentage of above investment should I opt for monthly return? I would turn it around and say, look at how much monthly income you need. And then you start it that way. So always start with the end in mind. Never start with what should I do so that I get this much income. Because if you look at the investment and then see how much return you get, the chances are that it could be less than what you actually need, or it could be a lot more than you need. And in the process, you might end up paying some extra tax on the extra income that you got, which is anyway going to be reinvested. So start with how much money you need on a monthly at a monthly frequency, and then accordingly you work backwards. Number two, should you look at hybrid aggressive hybrid funds for monthly income? My clear answer is no. Divide your money into less volatile asset category for your monthly income. Let the aggressive hybrid funds or equity funds be used for long-term appreciation over a period of time. So you may divide your money into generally what we recommend is 3 buckets. One is more liquid kind of funds. Second is that category of funds. And third is where the aggressive hybrid or equity fund would come in. The aggressive hybrid or equity fund is not to be touched on a regular basis. Allow it to grow and compound. But draw your monthly income from the liquid portion first, and then when you run out, once you run out of it, then the debt component would have grown to some extent, and start drawing money from that for your monthly income requirement. What would also happen is, because you allowed the debt to grow for a particular period, let's say 3 or 5 years, the income that you are able to generate out of that increased corpus would adjust for inflation in your expenses. So to that extent, you will be better off. And periodically, like let's say, whenever you are reviewing your portfolio with the help of your financial advisor or mutual fund distributor, at that point in time, periodically, you keep shifting some money from equity to either liquid or debt when there is a huge run up in the equity portfolio. So these are a few things that you can do, so that regularly you are withdrawing money from liquid and debt only, whereas equity allows you the benefit to enjoy the benefit of compounding over a long period.
Yeah, thank you so much, Amitji. And Mr. Baral, I think last time when we did a detailed webinar on retirement planning, which is there on the YouTube at a week YouTube channel, you can have a look through. And with this, I think most of the questions we would have answered. I mean, I'm not taking the shift of small cap to large cap kind of questions, Mr. Mukhopadhyay, at this point of time. Mr. Pradeep, we spoke about election year, how things can happen. Then gold and silver, Mr. Neeraj, we have answered to you in a different perspective. I mean, gold ETF and physical, Mr. Ashish, I think Amit already spoke about you. And Mr. Prakash Venkatraman on retirement. The question of Baral is almost same to what you have. Mr. SKR Reddy, mutual fund projections, probably that's what we said. We don't project, we can't predict all that what you need to prepare and where you can stay invested with your personal financial goals. And this is the last one. Would you like to answer, and very quick answer where we can do and we can close? There's a question from Surendra. Equity mutual funds, is there any equity mutual fund which can protect downside or hedge a portfolio against derivative tools? Probably something you can guide Amit on this.
Yeah, so in terms of classification by SEBI, there are uh, arbitrage funds which are classified as equity because they hold more than 6%. But and there is hardly any downside if you hold for longer than a couple of months. But the issue is, it is not actually a fund that would give you equity type returns. It would give you liquid fund kind of returns. So if you are looking at long-term growth, if you're looking at a long-term wealth creation goal, don't worry too much about short-term downside protection. There are a few funds in between. So arbitrage is one extreme. The typical equity fund is on the other extreme. There are hybrid categories of funds. There are balance advantage funds which try to reduce the volatility through, in some sense, hedging of the portfolio. But do they give you total downside protection? No, they don't give total downside protection. Don't even try to seek that in the same way. It's like expecting Jasprit Bumrah and Virat Kohli rolled into one cricketer. You generally not get it.
Yeah, thanks, Amit, and audience. Thanks for your patient listening on that. I've been probably looking at those financial resolutions which we spoke about. Probably we will sum it up at the end once again, what Amit has briefed a while ago. And that I take the presence of Puja Swamiji. Swamiji, namaskar and welcome to this. And we are very glad you took time. I do understand paying respect to Devki Ma, and I was telling Matthew, in spite Swamiji could make it to come, and we are grateful to him. And Matthew has already given a large introduction about you coming in the beginning of the webinar, but I invite back Mr. Matthew to take few couple of minutes. Then we'll hand over to Swamiji. And thanks, Amit. Amit, we will have a final conclusion at 12:20 or so.
Namaskar. I don't know, we have no words to express our sorrow at your loss. Rao sir is also deeply sad in the morning. I know it is your personal relationship with Raoji and us that has brought you here today, and for which I'm very grateful. Many times before, you mentioned Devaki's name when you were speaking here, so we know how much we meant to you and also to the Prasanna Trust. We gave a large introduction about Prasanna Trust earlier, about the work during COVID and other things. So, ma'am was obviously a very crucial part of all that, and we're very sorry for that loss. And again, have no words. Thank you for being here today, and we thank you so much for that. And pranams also to Amma, who I'm sure is somewhere near you always. So, on behalf of everybody who's for those who have not heard Swamiji before, Swamiji's mother lives with Swamiji. And one of the most impressive things that Swamiji has said here is that every morning Swamiji goes to Amma for one Upadesham every morning. So that is also very special about a mother-son relationship, and also a very special mother who has something new to tell the son every morning. You know, that is a great blessing that way also. So pranams to Amma also, Swamiji, and respectfully hand over the stage to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. You can hear me now? All of you can
Yes,
hear me?
Swamiji, we can hear you. We can hear
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, Matthew, very much. And whenever I see you, something touches my heart. So therefore, I thank your presence and Amit and our Amit Trivedi. And anyway, K.S. Rao is a part of my inner being. Thanks a lot. And everybody, thank you very much. Yeah, this is the 5th day of somebody very close to me. And the person is close to me, I like to share with a part of the New Year. She's close to me, passed away. She was my student, and she was also a kind of comrade and also my Hindi teacher in a way. And therefore, she passed away. The beauty about her, I'm saying this as a part of a strategy which everybody can build. What Rav, the beauty about her, which Rav knows very much, she has come for some of the thing sessions is, right? She is like a bird who lifted the personal family, and like a bird, other wing, she lifted also Prasanna Trust, right? So therefore, why she is so unique, apart from being my student, apart from being my very deep, close friend, in one wing, she lifted her family. In another wing, she lifted also Prasanna Trust. And therefore, all right, there's a sense of remorse inside, but a sense of fullness, right? She's also being my Hindi kind of teacher in a way. I like to start off with 2-3 shairis. If people follow, well and good. Otherwise, I'll explain. Mulaqat bhi kabhi kabhi aasu de jati hai. I'll repeat. Mulaqat bhi means meeting somebody. Kabhi kabhi aasu de jati hai. Nazare bhi kabhi kabhi dhoka de jati hai. मुलाकात भी कभी कभी आंसू दे जाती है, नजरें भी कभी कभी धोखा दे जाती है, गुजरते हुए लम्बों को याद कर कर देखिए, तन्हाई भी कभी कभी सुकून दे जाती है. It's a beautiful shairi, and those people who don't know, I'll say, which says, मुलाकात, meeting somebody, she's my student, कभी कभी आंसू दे जाती है. Many times I have tears in my eyes when I do my tarpana. This is the 5th day of her demise. मुलाकात भी कभी कभी आंसू दे जाती है, नजरें भी कभी कभी धोखा देती है. Means your perception sometimes is deceiving. Oh, why Swamiji is so attached to this student? नजरें भी कभी कभी धोखा दे जाती है. गुजरते हुए लम्बों को याद कर कर देखिए. Look at the moments which has passed there. तन्हाई, a sense of loneliness, also सुकून दे जाती है. There's a sense of loneliness which is a part of the creation, but that is also giving a sukoon, means a sense of kind of a peace, right? It gives that. This is the paradox of life, all right? And therefore, I like to say one more thing is Sangeet sunkar न्याय नहीं मिला. संगीत सुनकर, by listening to music, ज्ञान नहीं मिला. मंदिर जाकर भगवान नहीं मिला. Lot of people go to the temple, they have not experienced God. संगीत सुनकर ज्ञान नहीं मिला, भगवान, मंदिर जाकर भगवान नहीं मिला. पत्थर को इसलिए पूजते हम. We worship a stone क्योंकि विश्वास का लायक कोई भी नहीं मिला. We worship a stone because a human being with trust we don't get. Devaki, for me, as a trustee, she was an embodiment of trust, which is there. With these few words, all right, I'd like to start off by saying Happy New Year. If you don't plan, you perish. Holistic living, please. If you don't plan, you perish. And therefore, an important dimension of planning involves having a good friend with you. I'm saying out of experience, right? Good planning involves a very good friend with you. In the Mahabharata, when Krishna gave a choice, who you want, my army, the largest army at that time called Narayan Sena, or you want me? I'm not going to have any weapons. Arjuna chose Lord Krishna. And Duryodhana was so happy because Narayana Seva of Krishna, the army was so powerful. So Arjuna demonstrated a good friend is important. Arjuna chose Krishna. And therefore, न चाहत है सितारों की, तमन्ना है नजारों की, आप जैसा दोस्त मिले क्या जरूरत है हजारों की. Right? न चाहत है सितारा, I don't need the stars. तमन्ना है नजारों की, I don't need different series. आप, right? आप जैसा दोस्त मिले, if I get a good friend, Arjuna got a good friend in Krishna, आप जैसा दोस्त मिले, क्या जरूरत है हजारों की. What is the need of thousands of friends? So therefore, she was a great friend and a student in me. I am saying this as a part of planning. What, Matthew? We should have a good friend. We have a good friend, and if you have a good friend, a different type of direction. So that is the first part of holistic living, right? There's the first part, second part. Second part of holistic living is keep anchors which are active in you. Keep anchors which are active in you. In the Indian culture, we have Chin Mudra, right? You know, Buddhists, Jains, Chin Mudra. Now, I'm not going to talk to you religiously what the mudra is. Religiously, it has a different meaning. But I want to give you in a way you can remember. And most of you, I assume, know a little Hindi, isn't it, Ram? A little Hindi they know?
Yes, Swamiji. People are from
Yeah,
across the
little.
country,
Yes,
and
yes.
Yeah, so therefore, little Hindi. So, Chin Mudra, I'm not going to talk for me. Spiritually, this refers to Karma Yoga, this refers to Bhakti Yoga, the middle finger refers to Jnana Yoga, and this refers to Dhyana Yoga. If I just remember, the little finger is Karma Yoga, the ring finger is Bhakti Yoga, the middle finger is Jnana Yoga, and this is Dhyana Yoga. But you should know what is Karma Yoga, you should know what Bhakti Yoga of the Gita is. And with 45 minutes, I don't want you to load with that. But I will say any of your mother tongue. Matthew is there, so he knows Malayalam. Amit is there, he knows Hindi or Sanskrit. In each of the finger, you give an anchor where you can remember. And that should be an active memory. That's called as anchor. So this is this Indian culture, Chin Mudra. So give each one in your own way you create. Right? If I give Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga as a part of planning, but I am loaded with Bhagavad Gita, so I know what it means. But most of you wouldn't have gone. So in your own mother tongue, big poets, or you give an anchor. So since most of you know Hindi, I'll give you an anchor you can play with. And then you can replace. Is it okay? Now all of you take your thumb and say to the ring, little finger like this. Right? It's called Nyasa. In Sanskrit, Nyasa. In Chin Mudra, this is Nyasa. So therefore, for you, I'll give you a project, as most of you. Keep any poem which will inspire you. For me, what poem inspires me? Your body center should be, I will say, it's a Urdu shairi. Right? Right? In a Urdu shairi, Sher mein bandisho alfas kafi nahi. I'll translate for those people who don't know Hindi and Urdu. शेर में बंदिशो अल्फाज काफी नहीं है, जिक्र का खून चाहिए असर के लिए. जिक्र का खून चाहिए असर. What does it mean? In a poem, share means in a poem. Bandisho alfas means composition of words are not enough. In a poem, composition of words are not enough. Zikar ka khoon chahiye. Put a little blood from your heart in your poems. Put a little blood means put a little passion in whatever you do. That becomes a poem. All of you are listening. With passion, can you listen? I am speaking. Yes, there is sadness in my heart. Somebody close passed away, but I'm putting passion in my heart. So I'll put a share for you if you know Hindi, and if you know Telugu, if you know Kannada, appropriately put. So for my body center, share me bandisho alfas kafini zigar. So I put a blood in my heart. Even if I weep, if I beat, I put life into my weeping. If I go pray, I put life into my praying. If you are planning finance, you put life. All right. So treat this body with that passion. Can you all of you get this? I'm talking now. Zikr ka khoon, thoda pran dal dijiye. Then what will happen to you when you do pran janiye? All right. Jihwa me madhumattama. Honey will flow through your tongue. So all of you are listening. I can't see your faces except Matthew and somebody else. Matthew and Amit and this one. Pran dali. When you put life into it, all of you, wherever is sitting down, with jasba se sun lijiye. This is one in Chinmudra. Now, in this middle ring finger, all of you do like this, right? This is called nyasa in Sanskrit. Ring finger, what should be your emotion? And I'll tell you a Hindi poem. You can put Telugu poem, you can put, right, for Shri K.S. Rao, you can put a Telugu poem. You put emotion. I want emotion. In a Telugu poem, how many people are Telugu? Some people are there. So anyway, majority are Hindi. So I'll say in Hindi only. All right. What does it say there? If you put a thing. And for me, my student Deviki who passed away, she was like this. Zindagi pal do pal hai. Isme nahi to aanch aur kal hai. जी लो जिंदगी का इस तरफ कि जो भी आपसे मिले वो यही कहे यही जिंदगी का सबसे हसीन पल है. What a beautiful poem this is. Life is very momentary, all right? And life is, live life in such a way, whoever meets you must say, you are the most beautiful person I have met. Can you bring that energy of feeling? In Telugu, it is said, Shri Rama, ni namamente ruchira, palu ni gadalakanna, panchadara chilakalaganna, O Rama, ni namamente ruchira, yentu ruchira, yentanto ruchira. He says, oh, the poet says, oh Rama, your name is so sweet. It is honey, milk, and curds put together. So whoever meets you, your emotional center, should feel this is the most beautiful being I have met. So by putting this, right, I get inspired. Now, whoever meets you, Rav, somebody meets you, oh, the most beautiful person. Trivedi, somebody meets you, about beautiful. When can that happen? The poet gives another poem. Same, you can anchor it here. So we'll get every time like a mantra inspired. He says, Zindagi pal to pal hai. Isme nahi to aaj aur kal hai. जी लो जिंदगी का इस तरफ कि हर पल जिंदगी का सबसे हसीन पल है. Live in such a way, every moment is the most beautiful moment. Every moment is the most beautiful moment. And if you live life with that passion, then whoever meets you will say, you're the most beautiful person. So therefore, I put another anchor here. You can put any other Malayalam, Gujarati, any anchor, but it should be inspiring to you. So Chinmudra, this is a part of planning. Little finger, I told you one anchor, which you do a homework of putting. Ring finger this, now middle finger. It is one is body center, another is emotional center, this is intellectual center. Now I'll give a poem to myself, and since majority of you know Hindi, so I'll say Hindi. What should be an intellectual center poem to be remembered and get inspired? ख्वाहिश ऐसी करो कि आसमान तक जा सको, मगर दुआ ऐसी करो को खुदा को पा सको. यूं तो जीने के लिए फल बहुत कम है, जीवो ऐसा हर पल जिंदगी पा सको, हर पल जिंदगी पा सको. No, this is the poem which I'll give to myself, and you pick up any poem. Means what? Aspire to go to the sky. Aspire to go to the sky. But don't forget to experience God. Don't, he says, the poem says, don't forget to experience God. The moments of life are very short. Squeeze every moment. The moments of life are short. Squeeze every moment. For हर पल में प्यार है, हर लम्बे में खुशी है, खो दो तो याद है, जी लो तो जिंदगी है. See the poem, how it will inspire. Right? So therefore, हर पल में, every moment there is love. हर पल में, हर लम्बे में, every moment there's joy. If you know how to see it, receive it. So now I'll give these three anchors: body center, emotion center, intelligence. This is spiritual center. And for me, spiritual center, all right, is like Zapier. All right, in IT Zapier, how Zapier connects to all other tools and applications. Zapier is an application which connects to all other things. So to intuition or purity should connect to everywhere. Intuition or purity, I am not going to touch on this subject. All right. I'll give you a free link. Join the program there. I'll tell you, because it will take too much long time to get. So this is the body center, this is the emotional center, this is the intellectual center, and this is the spiritual center. Now, this is a system. Mudra is system. So you need even all of you are all experts, you need a system to invest, isn't it? SIP is, right, systematic investment plan. You need a system to invest. I'll say you need a spiritual investment system also, plan. All right, you need. So I'll give you only one mudra. All right, if I do my e-labs, etc., I'll give you different mudras, which K.S. Rao knows. All right, different mudras I give that. So therefore, first plan, have a friend. Like Arjuna had Krishna a friend. You should have a friend, an active friend. One. Second plan, I says, this is, so it's a system you need, spiritual system. You create any poem, any sloka, not mechanically, you should mean it, and which should inspire. Can we start off with that, these two, as a part of planning, holistic planning? Right? Take a deep breath, all of you. Digest what I'm saying. Take a deep depth digestment, and then, before you go to sleep, ask this question: how has this worked for you? There's another planning. Before you go to sleep, ask this question: how you beat a chin mudra, you put your necessary poems, how it has worked for you. And if at least there is 1% to 5% growth each day, each night before you go to sleep, you will be roaring in excellence. Please, right? One of my students, K.S. Rao, I'm requesting him to become my trustee after Devaki Jayapuria passed away. All right. He in his office is written, I trust in God. Others give me data. All others give me data. He says, I trust in God. All others give me data. He's running a 600, 700 high-tech people. So therefore, I want that data before you go to sleep. All right. 1 to 5% have you practiced this. Then you will see how you will roar in excellence. Having said this, now can I give my keynote presentations? Aap kar dijiye bas. All right, keynote presentations, and then up. So now I want you to follow this properly. Yeah. No. I'm sure this is a first note. All of you can see this?
Yes.
Put a thumbs up. You can see this. So Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year is just not telling Happy New Year, right? So if you practice what I just now said, it will be Happy New Year. Isn't it wrong? Right? Khushiyan in this Happy New Year is khushi, no? खुशियां हमेशा चंदन की तरह है. खुशियां हमेशा चंदन की तरह है. Happiness is always like chandan. This is called chandan, right? खुशियां हमेशा चंदन की तरह है. दूसरे के माथे पर लगावो, अपनी ही उंगलियां महक हो जाती है. What a beautiful poem. खुशियां हमेशा चंदन की तरफ है. Chandan, what you put here is very fragrant. If you put chandan in somebody else's forehead, your finger becomes mahak, means becomes fragrant. So if you make others happy, you will be happy. Can this be a newer message, please? If you make others happy, you'll be, all right, be happy. Having said this, this is what Happy New Year it is. Holistic approach to life. For me, right, serving the poor, Naraseva is Narayana Seva. Right, serving the poor is serving God. That's why Mother Teresa says, if I see a poor person crying, for me it is Christ, Jesus Christ crying, she said. Look at that feeling. So therefore, and we, our 81 lakhs people we have served, etc. So please let service be a part of your planning. Now, all of you are experts, you know. I'm not going to talk in front of all you Rustams and Chupa Rustams. What is the market mood index? All of you are Rustam or Chupa Rustam? You know, market mood index there. Is it extreme greed? Is extreme fear? And your thing goes, you arrive at the market mood index, isn't it? All of you know that, okay? Now, what I am giving you, what you know, I'm leading you to something which you may not know. What, Matthew? What you know, I'm leading to something which you may not know. All right? What is that? Is a spiritual index. For market mood index, spiritual index. Please see, when there is extreme ego, it is just like, right, extreme greed. Right? Now, extreme ego, lot of people suffer in life not because of difficulty, it is because of extreme ego. Now, there is extreme fear, which you have not put here. So what you have to see, right, the green one should have been extreme fear, deep fear, but it is small mistake is there. We have put deep surrender, corrected. Extreme, like how index mood is like this, is like this. Extreme greed, extreme fear, same thing. Spiritual index, in your life there is extreme ego or there's extreme fear. You know, when you have extreme fear in this, what happens to you? Immediately you will get afraid of your investment. Extreme greed means, oh, blue chips are working very well. Blue chips are very, Nifty 50 is working very well and is going up, up, up. You see 1 year index, 2 year index, and you become greedy. You go on doing it. Or when you have fear, you immediately can't withdraw it. There's no sustainability. So in life, extreme ego hurts you. Extreme fear hurts you. Ego messes up your life. But if extreme ego, if you learn to be grateful, extreme fear, if you learn how to surrender, you find you will be balanced. So when there is fear, learn to surrender. Extreme greed, learn to be grateful. I have authored 119 books. If I develop an ego, I have to be grateful. Is it case, Rao? I have to be grateful. A group of people came yesterday and met me. Ayodhya, they want to do puja. They want to listen. They came and met me. A group of people there. When they came and met me, all right, some of them couldn't recognize me. I am Swami Sukhabodhananda. They wanted our hall because I have reduced my weight so much. Then after I go, they tells one of my students, Jitendra Yoshi, my God, is he Swami Sukhabodhananda? I've been reading his book. He has become so thin. He has become so thin. I can't recognize. When childhood, his books were like a mantra to me. All right. And the right, why I'm saying, should I become egoistic or I should become grateful? And K.S. Rao knows, others know, in all my books, I have acknowledged my mother, I have acknowledged Deviki, I have acknowledged all my students. I have mentioned all my students have been a source of inspiration. So I'm being grateful. So please, your index is extreme ego, learn to have surrender and gratitude. Extreme fear, surrender. If this spiritual test is going on, your life is beautiful. How will you make that happen? The Gita says very beautifully, Vyavasayatmika buddhihi ekeha gurunandana bahushakahi anantaha buddhayaha avyavasayinam. Lord Krishna says, Vyavasayatmika, have a single focus, have a grit, single focus you have and reach your goal. Don't get distracted by distraction. Bahushakai anantaha. Don't get distracted by distraction. For me, my right-hand student trustee passed away. I should not be afraid about it. I should have the grit. I should not be distracted by death. All right. So Lord Krishna in the Gita says, focus and grit and don't get distracted by distractions. All right. Then you will see, don't allow fear to dominate you. Don't allow ego to dominate you. Allow gratitude and this to and surrender. Therefore, a Tamil Tirukural says, Matthew, Tirukural says in Tamil very beautifully, En nandri kondrakam uyundam, we will I say nandri kondra maharku. He says, if you have gratitude, all right, your life will drastically change. For everything, there is price, which are not for ingratitude. So therefore, can you bring that grit and focus? Okay. Having said this, please see now how to double in the part of the planning, how to double your productivity. First is planning, next is execution, and third is reviewing. I already started off this session by saying, plan, have a good friend. I also said, have a learning investment plan. You need a system for everything. So I gave you a system called Chinmidra. All right. Then I gave you a review also. What is a review? How many of you remember the review? Before you go to sleep, see 1 to 5% have you increased. See, before you go to sleep, audit 5% awareness. The ego came, hey, I should have brought gratitude. Fear came, I should have brought surrender. So it is called of self-correction. What, Ram? Is making sense now, Ram? For you, it is making sense through
Yes,
you
Swamiji.
addressing your people.
Yes, Swamiji.
So therefore, plan, you can plan in writing before you go to sleep this much. So planning, execution, and review. Okay. Having said this, now, so in your planning, you should plan purposefully, prepare prayerfully, proceed positively, pursue persistently, and produce effectively. For the new year, get this into. If you don't do this, you will get caught in the Niagara Falls syndrome. You know what is the Niagara Falls syndrome? A boatman was enjoying the river Niagara. My God, listening to music, and he was enjoying. And he heard a louder sound. All right. He gets up from his boat and sees he's the edge of Niagara. And then he tries to change the boat direction of the boat. It is too late. It falls down. Lot of people are too late when they start changing the direction of your life. Because death can happen anytime. Death can happen anytime. So therefore, let us plan right now. When death can happen, we do not know. Every lorry in Hyderabad, in Bengaluru, in Delhi is like a Yama Avaduta. It is like a Yama's vehicle. Anytime we can die. There's no age is the thing. So therefore, if you don't plan properly, you'll get into Niagara Falls syndrome. Is it clear, all of you? Put your thumbs up. And all of you say, wherever you are, Dhanyosmi, Dhanyosmi. I am blessed to get learned. Okay. Now, please see a little New Year break. Having expectation is I'll do exercise. Your reality is you see the burger you're eating. Expectation is I'll do exercise. However do you exercise if you eat burger with what is that, French fries and with so much, what is going to do? It is impossible. It is impossible. 1 hour exercise is 300 calories. And 10 minutes of stupidity eating like this, right? It will be 2,000 calories he is eating. Oh, you will have a consolation. I'm doing exercise. It'll be there. Are you all understanding, please? So now the spiritual dimension, which I want to give you, I told you 3, this one, spiritual. I want to come here. I'm going to give you, it's called gates of Shambhala. Is a Tibetan example. It's called gates of Shambhala. Is that only 15 minutes remaining? Oh, is it? Wow. There's only 15 minutes remaining around. Okay.
No, Swamiji, we have time. We have time. 12:30, but we'll have a less of questions to take then.
Okay. I'm sorry. So the gates of Shambhala. What is gates of Shambhala? It's a Tibetan story that a person was walking, it seems, in the Himalayas, and then he sees at one spot a village between the valley. People were so happy. And this man says, I should go and live in that valley in the Himalayas. Then he saw a monk nearby. And he said, and the monk asked this person, hey, do you want to stay in the village? It was like a heaven, that valley. He says, I like to stay, but I'll go call my friends and relatives to come here. And he said, you may not get the spot. He says, no, I know. He goes, it seems, and comes back. He misses the spot. He goes and comes back. He misses the spot. And even now he is searching for that spot. It's called gates of Shambhala. All right. And therefore, please see, and it is called Ichigo Ichi. In Japanese, there's a word called Ichigo Ichi, which is each moment is unrepeatable moment. I'm repeating. In Tibetan, it's called Ichigo Ichi. I think it's Japanese. Japanese Ichigo Ichi. Gates of Shambhala is Tibetan. Japanese people call it Ichigo Ichi, means each moment is the most unrepeatable moment. So don't miss it. हर पल में प्यार है, हर लंबे में खुशी है, खो दो तो याद है, जी लो तो जिंदगी है. It is called Ichigo Ichi. Since already 15 minutes more they are telling, so I'll go a little fast there. And I want to give an example, you will understand. I'll give an example. When this is my trustee who passed away, right? Now passed away, there's a 5th day. Now, if you see Rabindranath Tagore, when he is about to die, he had written 5,000 poems, roughly 5,000 poems. He was about to die, and somebody asked, right, have you expressed about beauty and truth, whatever you have through 5,000 poems? And Rabindranath Tagore says, I could not express, even in the 5,000 poems, what I want to convey are the experience of beauty. Honestly, this is not exaggeration. I was sharing to my brother who stays in Italy. All right, I was sharing. I have appreciated my trustee, my student who has been for 40 years with me. I have, in all my books I've mentioned. In my coffee day I mentioned. I have appreciated her. Still now, after she dies, I feel I'm incomplete in appreciating her contribution to Prasanna Trust. When there is love, that's the power. So every moment, squeeze that moment. Every moment, squeeze that moment. Please, are you getting this? Every moment clear. Now, what should be, shall we jump into? No. What should be the goal for all of you in the planning? Learn to be an outer winner, learn to be an inner winner. Most of you are caught in success. Inner winner is satisfaction. So let your goal be Bhag. Bhag is big, hairy, audacious goals. Bhag is a big goal you should have. A hairy goal means a wild goal. Audacious, it should be there. Outrageous goals you should have. Like, for example, please see Roger Bannister. Roger Bannister, right? Nobody for 1,000 years could meet a 4-minute mile. And everybody 4-minute a mile is impossible. A college medical student broke that broke the record of 4 minutes in a mile. And the year he broke, which 1,000 years is not broke, in the same year, nearly 20 or 30 people broke the record. Because it was a mindset block. Oh, 1,000 years, 4 minutes and 1 mile. Now, on that year Rochester Banner broke, many people have broke. Therefore, please see, Bruce Lee says, our capability is beyond limitation. So therefore, this is the dimension I want. Now, what is the steps of your planning? Right, 7 steps of planning. I think I'll just say, I'll not elaborate, right? Sure. Not elaborate because lack of time. 7 steps of what is your big goal? All of you write down what is your big goal. See, for example, K.S. Rao, now my big goal is now to take skill development to rural people. Because I have been addressing Matthew only on elite people, English audience, corporate audience. Somewhere I have not gone to the rural. And God's grace, I met somebody in Dallas or in Frisco, and he said, Swamiji, I will help you from American universities to Indian people to give certification on skill development. And we have already started the skill development. So that's a very big goal because I don't know anything about drone technology. I don't know anything about artificial intelligence. I don't know anything about machine learning. I don't know about electric vehicles. Little artificial intelligence, I know not much. Now we are going to go to the rural people, Matthew, and teach all this, all right, with the certification from American thing. Skill development, which is there, and government of India is doing that. And this person is an expert from Dallas who has come there, and we have started there. So this is a very big goal I have got. And I never knew how to fulfill it. God, if you are open, God will give you a pathway. So therefore, have a big goal. Then create a burning desire. You should have a burning desire. And the burning desire is why I have addressed 68 years of my life to the elite. I have served the poor in education, but I have not worked with the poor. So I have a burning desire. Third step. You should have a burning desire. Then third step is identify 3 mini goals for tomorrow. I'm going the steps now. I can't elaborate too much. 3 mini goals you work and see how you can fulfill the goals. All right. Fourth step is end time and fun time you have. End of the day, you should know an end time. You should not overburn yourself. However busy I have got a cutoff time. And I watch a movie, do an exercise, I have fun time. Fifth step, I build accountability. Accountability partners I build around me. I've got a lot of accountability partners. Now, Deviki Jaipure, my trustee, passed away. Now, I've created so many accountability partners. They take care of the farm. Fifth step, sixth step, BLCUT, a block large chunks of uninterrupted time, which Bill Gates also did, and one more person did, no? Elon Musk also does that. Elon Musk also has done that. In a day or in a week, large chunks of time he'll cut away and fully dwell into it. This is called BLCUT, block large chunk of uninterrupted time. No mobiles, no this one. Then there is an intensity, and seventh step, allot time for email, phone, and internet. Means for all those things you think, this is a 7-step plan. It's a researched plan. So I think I'll avoid, or I'll just, 1 minute. This is thing I'll not elaborate because it will take the time. See, I'll just pass through very quickly. All this I'll plan through, right? Because it will take. See, if you don't do this Parkinson law, work expands as to fill the time available for its completion. Work expands. So therefore, your goal should be there. Work hard and play hard. Okay, all this can I go avoid? I'll avoid because there's a lack of time. Block chunk. That's what Elon Musk did that.
Time boxing.
Time boxing is also called. Okay. Now you did BAG. Now, second is SMART goals. And I think most of you know what SMART goal is. Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time bound. All right. So you have to play with BAG you have to play with SMART goals. Play with BARC, SMART goal, and the 7 steps. And now, towards what? Towards what? Towards what in 360 degrees of living. This is the holistic goal living. 360 degrees. What Matthew doesn't make sense, right? With this, is 360 degrees living, because holistic approach to life and goal setting is what K.S. Rao has told me. I look at holistic living is health, business, family, finance, and romance also, right? Social, fun, spirituality, and contribution. These are the areas you need to cover. Please see, I'll go, if time permits, I'll go and now please see. Now, you have to review the key areas of your life. In each one, review the key areas. I'll give you a free course to all of you, all right? And in the free course, I will tell you how to go on goal setting. You have to review, but it stops there only. Right. In each goal, you have to see the big wins, the losses or challenges, effort that you put in, and outcome in a scale of 1 to 10. If you want to be smart, if you want to be pajama, jayenge, aisa hi, then you'd go pajama. If you want to be there on all these domains, what is the big wins? What are the losses? What is the effort? For me, the loss is my trustee Devaki Jaipuri has passed away. It's a big loss for me. Right? So now that is a challenge for me. So what should I do now? All right. And what is the outcome? Right? You have to keep that in this. So therefore, if it goes to health, all right. Now you see, for example, health. What is a big wins? All of you, now we are reviewing, right? See, all of you, I'm doing reviewing for the last year. Please take paper and pencil with you, ready with you, and write down. Please see with you very quickly. Right now, I'm going in Bombay speed right now. All right. In health, last year, what was your big wins in health? 2023, what was your big wins in health? What are the losses or challenges 2023? What is the effort you have put? All right, what is the outcome you have got with reference to health? Health means it can be diet, it can be exercise, it can be breathing, it can be stress. Can you quickly take and review now? This is a whole workshop model, but I'm giving you as an intro model. So this is how you have to take the big wins of last year. All of you review. Now just listen, make a note. Afterwards you review. Now in family, we are reviewing last year, all of you, right? Reviewing last year, right? In family, what is your big wins in family? What are the big losses? Please understand. What is the effort you have put? And what is the outcome in 1 to 10 you have got? In family, you do that. Please see. Now, I'll go fast. Now, in romance also is very important. Please understand. You're married doesn't mean to say you'll have romance. What case, Rao? Married doesn't mean to have romance. Married, you have to create romance, because there's also, it is called Shringara Rasitis. In the romance, what is your big wins? What is the big losses? Right? You have to apply this for. Because somebody told me very beautifully, my brother told me, right? People's life is so boring nowadays. Therefore, they go to alcohol. They go to extramarital affairs because people's life is boring. Because the romance is not really good in them. And what is that big topic? All right, I will not get into that. Please do. We are reviewing last year. You do it. Contribution, what have you done? What are your big wins? See, Devaki Jaipuria for me, so much is contributed. Every day I'm writing a poem on her. What K.S. Rao I'm sending to you also. All right, because of the contribution she has done. All right, every day. So contribution, now she gets hundreds and thousands of mails she is getting. What a beautiful person she was. So therefore, contribution last year, all of you review in 1 to 10. Now, spirituality. What are your big wins? Losses and challenges, efforts. Right? Please see. Now, fun and hobbies. All right. What are your big wins? What are the big challenges, efforts, outcome? See, this is how you are logically going properly. Now, please see your big wins. What are, again, next thing, review. What were my top 3 accomplishments for the year. Quickly, can you make a note, all of you? Write down your 3 top accomplishments for the last year. Because sometimes you win, but you feel you're not winning. Sometimes you win and you feel you're not winning. What then also look into last year, what caused those 3 big wins? What routines, habits, rituals served you well that last year? Right? Now, we're all reviewing now. And this itself can be a newer goal. You are grateful. Give me 3 things I'm most grateful for the past year. 3 things. Please write down. What are the 3 things you're grateful? Please understand. What were the 3 most precious moments last year you had in your life which you treasure? Last year, what are the 3 precious moments you had? Right? Now, who were the 3 most influential people last year you met? Please validate all that. Right? Please see very fast. Right? What are the 3 biggest losses you went through? What was the failure? Was it due to outcome? Due to strategy, execution, blah, blah, blah. Right? Please understand, I'm going fast. Big lessons. Looking at everything, what were the 3 biggest lessons from last year? I'll take 1 minute pause. Take the 3 biggest lessons. Can I bypass? Which one I can take? Right? Are you getting there? How many minutes I have? Okay, now quickly. Now, I want all of you, I think I'm going to bypass this. I'm going to give you a free program for 5 days. You go through this 80-20 principle. Right? I'll bypass this also because it's taking time. Now, quickly. When it comes to health now, that is the last year's goal you review. You remember I told planning, execution, review. And 5% improvement every day. I told you in the beginning of the slide. For health, please see this year, all of you, come on. Take a deep breath and say, Dhanyosmi, Dhanyosmi. I feel blessed. Feel blessed you are learning. This year, while health, what is you going to do? You can avoid the 6 sins. They cause sepsis. 6 sins. Reduce your salt, preferably cut. Make your sugar nearly 0. Spirits is alcohol, stress, sleepless, sedentary life. This is done medically. All right. Sugar is more addictive than ganja and hashish. Studies have shown sugar is more addictive than ganja. And nowadays, every biscuit, even bread also they put sugar. Biscuit, they'll put sugar. Everywhere they have put sugar. Like a Gujarati sambar, right? Everything they'll put good into it. Now think there. So you become addicted. So these are called research 6 sins. You can reduce it to 90%. It'll be great. Are you all willing to do? Now 8 tips of good living. Right? Breathing, drinking water, hydrate yourself, right food, right exercise, see your excretion which is there, Vishranti, restful, inspiring thoughts, and be in a state of no mind rather than low thinking. So can you do this? This will be there. Now business. Right? All of you for business, what are you going to do? Experts are there like Rav and Amit there. But I'll say in business, please apply the workflowy tool. For me, it's a very beautiful tool. It's a free tool called Workflowy. And I go to America because I have an organization, States, and here in the Workflowy, I monitor my staff very well. All right. It's a beautiful tool. Do the homework in business because data should speak. Or else, Rav, everybody will say work in progress, work in progress. Everything work in progress only. If you don't give a deadline, etc. All right. You may have Zapier, you may have ConvertKick, you may have Publer, you can have Phone Burner, you can have Memphis, you can have, what is that? Other one, all the tools you may have. Or Assembly, you can have. Merlin. You can have Merlin, you can have ChatGPT, Claudia. You can have Claudia, but work in progress. right? So please do, right? Now, family, keep the goal. What is going to be a family? Now you have to create a plan now. In family, I'll tell you what should be the plan, right? You should build a family esteem, family security, family service, and family prayer. Now keep the goal now, all right? And then work on it, right? What, how to be a family prayer? Family that prays is a family, etc. I'm not going to do because it's only 5 minutes. Finance, you are experts in finance. SIP, systematic investment plan. In spirituality, which is, or in spirituality is called, please see, this is another one. In spirituality, spiritual investment plan, but I'm going to give you a free online program to you for 5 days. I'll be teaching you SIP there, okay? Romance, I'll not get into it. I'll tell Matthew to take the session. I'll take Matthew to take the session now on romance, all right? But I'll give you a small tip, Matthew, so you can elaborate on that, right? The Shiva Sutra says, when you look at your spouse, see as though you're seeing for the first time. Don't say same old wife, same old girlfriend, same old. You look at your spouse as though you're seeing for the first time. And right, and see the beauty. There's a beautiful shairi case, Rao. Lako suraj chandrama kurban hai mere husn par. अद्भुत छवि को देखकर आईने में तारा आ गया. That should be your experience, not like she has to be Miss World. He says our face is blessed by lakhs of suns and stars. If the mirror sees the beauty, even the stars come to the mirror to see the beauty of your face. All right, bring that luster, sir. Social. See, you should be contributed. For me, social, I'll say, right? Devaki was, I told you she's my trustee. Devaki was no more there. In one wing, she lifted her family. Another wing, she lifted Prasanna Trust and inspired me. So therefore, contribution to society, sir. Everybody should contribute to society and have fun also. Don't be serious. When you're serious and get married serious, you will produce serious terrorists only. All right, you'll produce serious terrorists there. So therefore, have fun. So what do I do for fun? I watch good movies. Then I'll see how Marilyn Monroe was so beautiful. She was so depressed. She had an affair with John F. Kennedy and still depressed. But I see J.K. Rowling's. What is the name of the book she said?
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling's, hot water. So much of difficulty. She became the richest woman. She wrote a book in a coffee day. So therefore, spiritual. Next, these are the goals. All right. And spiritual is, I'll say, from void to fullness is spirituality. I'm not going to go into that. Void to fullness. And therefore, all right, it's over, I think, no time. So void to fullness, and I'll not go, it'll be too much. All right. Void to fullness, which is very important. So therefore, I will just only tell you, let your life be Kaizen. Let your life be Kaizen. Every time you improve yourself 1%, every time you do. Also, please understand 84, right? Please see, all of you, please, my CXO programs, I do that. Every day before you go to sleep, what worked, what did not work, what can be improved, right? Please apply. If you do my programs, all this I'll teach you. Say, before you go to sleep, what worked? What did not work? What can be improved? There's one tool which I play very much, or SKS tool. Another tool is SKS tool. Right? S stands for what shall I stop doing this year? What shall I keep doing? And what shall I start doing? Can you apply the SKS tool, please? See, I was 80, Matthew? I was 88 or 86 kgs of weight. And I had a powerful why. In black belt, if you do, you have to be a certain weight. From 86 kgs, proper dieting is the most. I am now 64 kgs. I've reduced so much. I may look very slim. I am fit because to be a black belt second dan, you have to be on one type of weight. And I did the right practice, it worked. So therefore, what shall I stop doing? I stopped eating carbs, only vegetable carbs I eat. What should I keep doing? I did the right exercise, multiple exercise. What should I start doing? Please see, right? There's a lot of things I start doing. This is what, right, I did and which brought about. So now I have no time to explain all. So therefore, I've already reviewed, created one, and as a gift to you, because I am bypassing so many keynotes, is all of you take a screenshot, please. This is a free program, 5 days online program I'm giving you. All of you take a screenshot. 5 days online I'm giving free. On the 5th day, I'll come live. So if you WhatsApp ABSL24, whatever they have put, take a screenshot and WhatsApp that message. We'll give you a free program and I will help you. On the 5th day, I'll come live. There systematically, I will go. All of you take a screenshot of this, and that's the best thing I can do, because about 30 slides, Kesarav, I have avoided. But I have covered major. See, macro to micro, micro to macro is important. All right. So therefore, you need to plan. One. Second, you need to execute. Third, you need to what? Review. You need to review. These 3 things. And what is a 360 11? I've given you 9 parts. 9 points I've given you. Explain on that. And before you go to sleep, your strategy is, have you improved 1 to 5% each day? And I promise you, your life can drastically change. But if there's no plan, you perish. Pajama. No plan, you perish. So to go deeper, I'm giving this program free to you. Please do that. I'll come there. Now, you can shoot questions. Rao? Because I think I've kept a right time. 11:30, 12:30, I've stopped. Any questions?
Thank you so much, Swamiji. I think not many questions, but most of it you already answered. And there are some volunteers. There is in the chat. I have sent that screenshot to Ms. Shakila, and somebody want to assist you on the skill development program. Dr. Nair.
Oh my God! Thanks a lot. It's the best gift you have given me. I need all your help for skill development. Not for me, because pan India. I'm so excited. Like drone technology, all this is given to the poor people, rural people. See, our CEO, the COO Shakila, she is a product of somebody sponsoring. 350 rupees only in Palani, somebody sponsored. 350, she maintained her family. She became an engineer. She went to America. Both the children have Tesla cars. She has left everything and she's doing volunteer work in India. Somebody contributed so much of contribution. So we don't know how we are going to contribute. Punya work, good karma, support in whatever it is with folded hands. I'm a beggar, so I can ask for begging.
It's the Dr. Nair, who is the director at Strategy and Skill Development
Please,
at Government of India.
Thanks a lot. Again, it is not for me, but we can give you support, and we have an extremely good team who have already got an experience in skill development. And we have a CEO also. Very good.
Yeah, with this, I'll stop. Amit, you have any questions for Swamiji? I think most of the financial resolutions we have asked it.
No, I think, sorry. I think Swamiji covered it beautifully well in the limited time. And I particularly like the point about review, because that often gets missed out. What worked and what did not work, who contributed and who was influential. I think these are some very pertinent questions to ask. So thank you so much, Swamiji, once again.
Matthew sir, would you like to have anything to ask before we come?
No, I had something to tell Swamiji, because Swamiji referred to my family. I married the girl when I was 26, because if I had to marry this girl, I had to marry her then. And recently we had a lover's trip because of you. I went to watch Oppenheimer on your recommendation. She does not believe that a Swamiji will recommend that I watch movies. So next time I will bring her to you and you could convince her that this advice actually came from you. She said, if you want, watch movies, but don't, putting on Swamiji's head. But I said, no, it's truly, Rao sir is my witness that Swamiji did ask me to watch Oppenheimer. So thank you, Swamiji.
No, no, Matthew, I'll tell you to watch our Sam Bahadur.
Oh, I see. I will.
Sam Bahadur, beautiful
This
movie of
also
General
she's not going to
Manekshaw.
believe, I'm sure.
Because these are all, I am suggesting true stories. True
I know.
stories in a short nutshell. You know, so many brains have gone. All right. Sam Bahadur, our ex-field marshal, 9 bullet shots he got. And still he became the field marshal. And he was always fine. And even his salary after field marshal was not paid by the government. And you know, all the story, this all inspires. Then some people having a simple pimple on their cheeks, they feel, oh, was gone. And our field marshal took 9 bullets and still he was so instrumental in the Bangladesh war. Any questions, sir?
Yeah, Swamiji, I think we will now we already at 4 minutes ahead of the time given to them, 12:34, and probably we will with sincerely thank. I'll invite Matthew sir to give the thanks message, but it was profound message, and in 1 hour you covered so much, Swamiji, and it is like a mini MBA for most of us, and you know, managing for the year and it is a life planning. It's a fantastic one, and I thank audience for investing their time and staying with us. Since we have just spoke about financial life planning, I will just quickly talk about those 10 resolutions. 2024, we are talking on the finance resolutions. I'll just recapitulate before I give it to Matthew. We spoke about planning early. We spoke about allocating day to check your finances, and you know, avoid the debt, buy now, pay later kind. Check your insurance, stick to your financial goals, optimize your asset allocation, and remain disciplined, whether it is life planning or financial planning. And we also spoke about emergency fund. Amit Bhai spoke about how you can invest various ways, you know, including surplus into the liquid. And with that, you can have your financial resolutions in place. And probably the goal orientation is the key to happen. And our next session, most likely we will talk about, because this time most of the questions have come, markets are at peak, what shall we do next? Investments in the current scenarios we will talk about. And thanks for your time. And I'll hand over to Mr. Matthew. I'll thank Amit for his support for joining us. Thank you so much, Swamiji, for taking time out in spite of the difficulty. And incidentally, last session, Devkima was there in this webinar. When you addressed
Yeah.
she was
there.
she asked for the link, and she was very much present there throughout. And friends, I know this shows life is uncertain for any one of us. Do your you know, not only the life planning, do your estate planning, and you know, keep your will ready, and you know, then that will help us to plan us better and pass on anything to the next generation equally better. With this, hand over to you, Mr. Matthew.
Thank you so much, Rao sir. Just a minute to thank everybody, including Puja Swamiji. Rao sir, as I said, holds this entire thing together. So thank you so much for that. I know for other responsibilities this morning, but still you made time to be here. Thank you so much. Amitji also. As I said, after Rao sir, you are the person who has traveled with us the most. So this thank you is a formality to a family member, but still my thanks. Puja Swamiji, of course, in exceptional circumstances, the exceptional human being who is with us here today. Thank you so much. Like Rao sir said, you know, we would like to dwell on Devakiji's life and not her passing, because that is an example to all of us. And to all our viewers who have taken time from a Sunday morning on a holiday to be with us, thank you so much. I hope this has been a great benefit. In fact, I'm sure this has been a great benefit. Please stay with us and use all the material, including Swamiji's course, 5-day course that Swamiji has very generously shared with us. It will be a great lesson. Thank you so much. And until we meet again, may God keep all of us safe.
Thank you so much. I think Swamiji left. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.